Today we are going to talk about nursing history and its connection with whiteness. Unfortunately, nursing history revolves largely around a single white nurse, Florence Nightingale. However, many people do not understand who Nightingale was and the legacy she left behind. In this video, we will explore Nightingale's role in British colonial violence and analyze some of her writings on the British colonies, which will allow us to better discuss the consequences of her legacy in nursing. Nursing historians have been doing incredible and diverse work, but in general, nursing promotes a view of Nightingale based in a culture of white supremacy rather than historical facts. What is rarely discussed in nursing history is Nightingale's racism and her political role in the genocide of Indigenous people under British rule. Nightingale was a staunch supporter of British colonialism, even with the knowledge of the death and destruction left in its wake. She believed Indigenous lives were a small price to pay for the expansion of the British Empire. Nightingale considered Indigenous peoples to be inferior and the British state to be a civilizing force. She is known to have written, would be simply preserving their barbarism for the sake of preserving their lives. The quote mentioned is from Nightingale's Sanitary Statistics of Native Colonial Schools and Hospitals, published in 1863, a report commissioned by the Colonial Office of the British government. In it, she concluded that the high death rates of Indigenous people in colonial schools and hospitals reflected the haste of British authorities to assimilate them. To understand such work, it is important to understand the meaning of cleanliness within the Victorian era and for Nightingale. Cleanliness was a synonym for purity, and the Victorian rituals attached to it came with a sense of godly supremacy. Indigenous traditions offended the cleanliness ideal of Victorian Britain. Miasma theory conveniently supported British supremacy and was a pillar of public health until the end of the 19th century. More importantly, it was a political weapon to destroy Indigenous health and wellness traditions, as it labeled anything non-British or non-Christian as filthy. Nightingale believed that Indigenous people's habits were the cause of their own death and decay, not the result of British colonialism. From 1861 to 1868, Nightingale was an advisor to George Grey, Governor of New Zealand. Her role in advising the governor during a brutal era of repression against Maori anti-colonial uprisings is part of the reason the New Zealand Nurses Organization has decided not to celebrate Nightingale's birthday in 2020. They explained that the Eurocentric campaign for the Year of the Nurse is harmful and disrespectful to Indigenous nurses and call her legacy dangerous. In conclusion, nursing historiography has long been centered around whiteness, with Florence Nightingale as the central figure. However, Nightingale's legacy is deeply problematic, as she was a supporter of British colonialism, believed in the superiority of white Christian culture, and was complicit in the genocide of Indigenous people. It's important to acknowledge and understand these aspects of her legacy in order to move forward and build a more equitable and just nursing profession. If you want to know more about nurse theories, then click this video. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have learned something new about this remarkable woman.